Money psychology, the emotion of fear. He says you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. The danger lies in refusing to face the fear and not daring to come to grips with it. You must make yourself succeed every time. You must do the thing that you think you cannot do. And that's a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. And it's a quote that I think is very applicable to what we're going to talk about today, and also the one by Edmund Burke that says that no passion so effectively robs the mind of all its powers of acting and reasoning than fear. Fear is a dirty four-letter word that sabotages our investment process. These are the 7 roadblocks, and we're going to talk about the one, actually going to give you about 45 minutes of what's about an hour and a half of taking fear out of investing. All right. Did I skip one? No, there we go. All right. The first step, what do you want for your money? If you don't hear anything else out of what I say in the next 40 minutes, this is the one thing you need to hear. If you don't know what you want from your money, you deserve to have fear interfere. Fear is a direct derivative of not knowing what you want. In other words, if I don't know what I want, fear is a direct derivative. Now, how many of you have children? How many of you taught your children how to ride a bike? How many of you, when you told your child that you were going to teach them how to ride a bike, you were taking their training wheels off, you were taking their psychological safety away, and you were going to teach them how to ride without training wheels, looked you straight in the face with nothing but horror in their face? They all do. And I remember as it was yesterday, I have 4 daughters. And I'm going to tell you, I can still remember to this day trying to teach them how to ride a bike. Now, here's their parent who they love and trust saying, you can do this. So they develop a little bit of trust. You put them on there and you run along with them, and eventually what do? You hang yourself. You let go. And when you let go, what generally happens? They fall down. Now, here's the child who trusted you, crying. And you go over and you go, honey, that was awesome. You did a great job. And they look up at you and go, are you nuts? Did you not see that I just fell down? But you can do this. And you put them back on the bike and you keep doing this and you keep doing it until eventually what do? They learn how to ride a bike. Investing is no different. But the difference is that when I took my daughter to teach her how to ride a bike, what did I have? A goal. The goal was she could ride a bike without training wheels. I believe wholeheartedly, 25 years of experience, 30 years of investment experience, wholeheartedly that you can trade, invest over your lifetime without fear. And the problem is learning exactly what we want. It's the why. Why are you investing? I believe the number one reason to invest is lifestyle. If you're not investing for lifestyle, give it away. There's one of two things you're going to invest for. One is for lifestyle that you're going to live, or two, you need to give it away to charity. And if you don't believe that's true, look at Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. Where does most of their money now go? Charity. See, at some point you have more than you need, so you give it away. But you're investing for lifestyle or to give it away, and choose. Now, I do want to say before I go any further, I am available for adoption. So if you need someone to give money to, I'm completely available. So just see me after the class. Now, if you don't have goals, you're making it much more difficult. And as this lady says, I wish we had a retirement plan that didn't involve matching 6 numbers. Now, sometimes that's where we end up. Emotion versus logic. Emotion controls the short-term uncertainty, lack of education experience. Today is an emotional event in the market. We've had a lot of emotional events over the last 45 days in the market, and that's all they are. They're emotional events. Ultimately, they will become a trend, and when they become a trend, we can invest based on that trend. But until they become a trend, they're an event. And I don't really care about market events, I care about market trends. Market trends make you money, market events make you neurotic. See, understand today's an event. If it becomes a trend, you will have to deal with the trend. And as of yet, it is not a trend. And we could pull up charts and look at that, and I'll tell you why. But right now, for that, let's just accept that. Logic wins long term. How many of you know that over the last 50 years, the market's gone up? How many of you know over the last 70 years, the market's gone up? How many of you know since the creation of the stock market, it's gone up? Because it started where? 0. And what is the Dow today? 13.2 something after the open. It's gone up. So when we look at the markets long term, they become very logical. When we look at them short term, they become very neurotic, and we become fearful, emotional, greedy. Everything you can throw at it, it starts to happen. So our response is be proactive. Take responsibility for your actions. Don't let other people blow you up. I call it the they factor. If they are in control of your investing, you're going to lose. I do not care, and I'm going to say this as politely as I know how, what Tobin thinks about the market. I don't care what Louis Noveler thinks about the market. I do not care what anybody thinks about the market except for me. Because ultimately, I am the person who has to hit the enter key. And, you know, my prayers have come true. I found somebody's American Express Gold Card. 400 subscriptions. Put it on here right now. One for everybody. But never had that happen before. So you need to take responsibility. Reactive is to shift responsibility to others. Now understand, I like Louis Noveler and I love the research that he does and I garner benefits from it. I like Tobin's research and I garner benefits from it. I like, Fidelity's research and Schwab's research and all the people who produce research out there. But ultimately, what happens? I am the decision maker. Does that make sense to you? When you shift your responsibility of your money to someone else, what are you trying to do? Hi. You're looking for somebody to blame. See, you have to take control of this action. Pavlov's dogs, everybody remember that story that they trained a dog by ringing a bell? And they would feed him after they rang the bell, and so eventually after they rang the bell, the dog would salivate. Does everybody understand that when they open the market at 9:30 every day, they ring a...
So we salivate?
I just think it's an interesting story, but, you know, train your brain. You have to train this thing up here. You can train it to overcome. Today is an event in the market, which I'm not walking around as a neurotic because I'm waiting for the next trend. The market is in transition. It has been in transition since March of this year. And so what's happening is the market's in a transition phase. That transition phase will either be to reestablish the uptrend and move higher, or it will break the current uptrend that we've been in for 4 years, and it will move down. One or the other is going to happen, but during the consolidation period or the trend changing period, I cannot become a raging neurotic. Does that make sense to you? See, and that's really what this is all about. It's systems, not theory. That says, the wife says, as I see, whatever you do next is going to be wrong. Women are always so helpful. But I always think about this because sometimes we get to this point that we think we cannot make a right decision. And if you've gotten to that point, here's my recommendation to everybody that I talk to.